Kouch, and on Kish's Couch we have real, honest conversation so that we can all learn and grow from each other, because that's what we're here on this earth to do, right? Learn and grow. So today we have our first guest, the amazing KillaxKels. I'm super excited to have you today.
I'm excited too. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Episode. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for always being such a supportive friend.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise, friend. You are very supportive.
Okay, let's get started. Let's get right into it. So, my first question is, how do you identify yourself? Or what do you identify as?
So, I feel like that alone is like a hard question for me. Like I was telling you that I really just usually say I'm a DJ from Toronto. I'm a mom. Like those are the standout things. But I feel like there are a lot of facets to me.
Yes, there's so much more. So please tell us more.
Aries, fire sign. But no, I feel like there's a lot. Like I'm into a lot of different kind of creative things. So I love fashion. I love just like visual arts as well and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm a creative at heart. Yeah. Beyond just a DJ. But I don't know. I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I don't know how to like always I don't want to put myself in a box.
Exactly, yeah.
And I feel like that's...
And I like that when you said, I'm a creative, because there's so much to that, right? Like, it's really vast. And I think that, like, even thinking about everything that I know about you, like, you are a true creative. Like, taught yourself how to make logos, flyers, like, all that stuff, like, you are. So that is so spot on of how you identify yourself, because that's how I see you.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, so the next question is, with all that you do, because you do a lot, how do you balance being a mom and entrepreneurship? Because people forget that with entrepreneurship, unless you're like at the point where you can hire people, you got to do everything yourself. And like, it's a lot of work. So how do you balance it all?
Balance is something I feel like it's a nonstop journey. Like it's the 1 week I might feel balanced, and then the next week or next day I'm so off, I'm sure you could relate
for
being
sure.
a mother too. It's hard being a single mother and having someone rely on you, and then again being an entrepreneur. Like I do have to do like I have a manager. Thank God he's been consistent with me throughout my whole career, so he helps me with a lot. But if most of the times I feel like now if I do need to get something done, I have to do it myself. So that's why I taught myself how to do flyers or video editing and stuff. I don't know. Balance is just taking it day by day and trying to do my best.
Do you have any like time management skills or like? No.
I think that's what's so crazy too, being a full-time DJ is that my schedule changes like on a day-to-day basis. So I can't really put myself in a routine. Once I do get into a routine, that gets disrupted like immediately because of I don't know, like the season changes and now it's like busy season or now it's like a lull, or my son's off school and then he's back into school. Like, there's so many different factors, but it's just it's an everyday struggle.
Trust me, I feel you. I'm not an entrepreneur, but like just with trying to balance everything, the thing that kind of helps me the most is like writing everything down. I literally have to write I'm gonna wake up at 6:45. My notepad, that's my life.
Notes and calendar for sure help a lot.
Yeah. I think if we utilize those, then like we can kind of stay on top of things, but like it's not easy.
And having that's the thing, mom brain is real.
It's real.
I will just forget.
Like
I forgot that this was today.
Yeah.
I'm like, I sure coming tomorrow. We're like ready.
I'm like, no, it's today.
In the shower.
Trust me. Yeah. Even like last night, I forgot that I had to get those gummies for Ava, and I'm driving around the city trying to get heart-shaped gummies for an hour. Like, mom brain is real, because not only because it's like mom brain, but like we have to think about an endless list of things that we have to do. Making dinner, laundry, folding, like clean up the house, wash dishes, get them to school, get them to swimming, get them to gymnastics. Like, it's literally never ending. So it's not easy, but you make it work.
Me too, girl.
Thank you.
Me too.
So, since we're on the subject of when we're starting out, like for other DJs or entrepreneurs who are wanting to enter into the music or entertainment industry, what would you say are some like do's and don'ts for entering the industry?
Do your research before you enter into anything. I think I did a lot of research, a lot of footwork, I would say. I would go to DJs when I first started out, DJs that I admire already. I would go up to them and just ask them, like, hey, what kind of equipment do you suggest me starting with? Or what program do you think is best? And then from that, or YouTube. I'm always saying I graduated from the school of YouTube.
I know, YouTube? You can learn everything.
So much on YouTube. So just doing your research, I think, is like the biggest thing before you get into it. And then that way you're at least a little bit prepared.
Yeah.
But it is hard to prepare in this kind of industry. Things just kind of come out of nowhere with you. But don't do it for the attention.
Yes.
That's like my thing now, because there's so many DJs in Toronto. I think Toronto has the best DJs in the world, for sure, because of the melting pot and whatever. But
the culture, everything.
Yeah. So we're influenced by so much. But I feel like a lot of people are becoming creatives for the attention, and that's like not going to be fulfilling for you. Yep. It's only going to be a temporary fix, and then it's also not good for the culture. Like, it's not good for the field either. So I feel like a lot of people kind of, for lack of better word, I feel like they kind of fucked up the game by doing that. Because it's kind of oversaturated.
It is.
Yeah,
it's like everybody and their mom's a DJ.
yeah. And it's like you did that because you thought that you had a sick like Apple playlist or Spotify playlist.
That's a good one.
You just want to be seen by people. You just want praise all the time and praise. And it's like, that's not going to make you a good creative. So I think, don't do it for the attention is my biggest thing.
I think that's a really good one. And one thing my dad like always tried to instill in me when I was younger, you have to do what you love. Like, that's a key word. Like, you're not doing it because I want this attention, or like I think that I have this good playlist, or like I'm good at it. Because a lot of people do things because they are good at it, and like that's good. But
you can have a good playlist and be a terrible DJ.
That's true.
Too. So.
That is true. But if you're good at something, that doesn't mean that it will give you that fulfillment that you were talking about, you know? So it's like, if you love it, that will drive you to do your research. That will drive you to put in practice. That will drive you to like do all these things that you need to do to make sure that you're at the level of like excellence.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too,
what about mentors?
Yeah, so that was part of my research too, just finding mentors that, the thing is, I didn't want to like bother people either when I first started, so I didn't want to be like, can you help me, like I just would ask like small things and stuff. But I think mentorship is so important. It's just like, why not learn from somebody who's been through it, and that way you could jump ahead a little bit too, and then
and they can help open doors for you too.
Absolutely. So I think mentorship is very important.
Yeah. And I think with mentorship, it comes like collaboration. And a lot of people feel like they're at this point where it's like, I don't need to ask for help, or like, I don't need to, but it's just like, it's not even asking for help. It's just collaboration. Because like, there's always power in numbers. Like, if you get a mentor, like you can get someone to help you, to open doors, to do this, to do that. And like, just really help you. I think that some people are like so scared of accepting help or even asking for help.
And I do think that that's like a Toronto thing.
Yes, it's true.
One thing that somebody told me that stuck with me years ago, everywhere else in the world, if you like hound somebody down like, yo, I really want this job, I really want you to help me, I really want this opportunity, they'll be like, wow, that person's so hungry, right? Like, I admire that. They're hungry. They really want this. They're persistent. Yeah. But in Toronto, it's like, if you keep hounding somebody, they're like, this person's thirsty. They're so thirsty. Annoying. Yeah, it's just like, no, I just really want this. Yeah. And I look up to you, and I was hoping that whatever. But there's also a way to go about it. But yeah, Toronto is hard. It's also one of the hardest cities, I think, to excel
solidify yourself in whatever you love doing. Like, it's hard to do that. So I agree. So but that's the one thing too, it's like, if you have a passion, just start it. Don't let your fear stand in the way.
Ooh, that's another thing too.
What did you say to me? Remember the first conversation? It wasn't the first, but like, it was one of our first real talks that we had, and I told you like, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do hosting more, but I was scared. Then do you remember what you said?
Fuck fear?
Yes! I'll never forget it.
That sticks with me. It's like, it's a motto that I try to live by, but it's hard because fear is real.
It is real, yeah.
So I read something, Brian Espiritu posted something the other day, and I'm probably not going to get it completely right, but he said, it's not that I don't want to be afraid, like, or I don't want to move in fear, but I it's like he was saying he wanted to accept the fear and move forward in happiness regardless.
Yep.
Type thing. So it's fear is natural, but it holding you back is the downside of it.
Yes. Sometimes you gotta say fuck fear and just do it. So moving on to the next question. So kind of close to the topics of do's and don'ts. How do you feel about the exchange of work for exposure, or like just like non-payment, or like helping out a friend kind of thing?
So I'm all about collaboration. I feel like that's where I started out too. When I started, and that's kind of where I want to be now too. I want to collaborate with more creatives in the city and just make good shit. But there's also like people that abuse that as well, and then it's like, you just want me to work for free or whatever. So I just think it has to be mutually beneficial for both parties, and that too is hard to decipher, you know, like what's mutually beneficial. So like us talking about like women, like we have to do our makeup, get our hair ready, and like dress up, and then it's like the cost of transportation, all those things. Like sometimes people don't take that into consideration.
A sitter for your child, or like
exactly, because we have to have our children watched. But I still feel like collaboration could be that maybe you pay for my transportation and then whatever, but it just has to work for both parties. And sometimes it's hard to find people that are genuine, because they might be down for the collaboration, but then later they'll throw that in your face too. So I've been in situations like that. For me, I feel like I have a rule, because I've been through this a lot, where people are like, oh yeah, can you help me out with this, can you help me with that, because I do like modeling on the side a little bit, and I'll be like, okay, sure, like I'll help you out with this. But then it's like, sometimes I take advantage. It's an abuse. Abuse it.
And it's like, you know, like I can do this for you, but it's like, okay, like maybe I get like an outfit or something, because it's like, if I have like a one-time rule, I would do one time for free, absolutely free, no questions asked. But the next time, it's like, we gotta talk about something. Like, it's either like my gas or whatever.
They'll take advantage of it.
They will. So I'm just like, I have my one-time rule, and like what you were saying, like, it has to be beneficial for both of us. We talked about this. Let's say you're a photographer, you're trying to build your portfolio, and I'm modeling and I want to build myself up. Okay, we can work together. It's like, you are trying to get something, I'm trying to get something. It's beneficial for both of us. But like, let's say it's someone who's like trying to build up their brand and they just want your help, but it's like, you don't get anything from that. So you're just like, this is not beneficial for me, but you're my friend, so I want to help you. So I guess that's where it gets tricky. But like you were saying, just don't get sucked in, and just like make sure you think about it. Like, is this beneficial?
Because what they always say, like, givers, you just keep giving, and people will not limit themselves to what they take. So that's very important. But you were saying like the photographer. Okay, let's like work together, because it's like, you need the portfolio, but you just want me to pay you, and you don't really have anything to show.
You don't have like that quality built up work yet.
And it's like, I do want to work with you, but you might not be worth this price, you know? And it's like, it's just a money grab for a lot of people. So for me, I'm blessed enough to not really, you know, worry about that side. I have enough jobs, so I will often do things for free for people, but I've had to learn to set my limits for sure.
But how do you set those boundaries, I guess? Because that's not easy.
It's just a learning experience, and it's case by case. Like some people I'll have more patience with because I know their situation maybe, and then certain people I'll be like, nah, like, you know, you've done this to me too many times, or I've heard that you do this, period, this is what you do.
Yeah, reputation's a big thing, especially in Toronto. Keep that reputation good, because if it's bad,
no, it's true.
Everybody go no.
Everybody talks. Toronto's a small town city, so you hear a lot of things, true or not true. You'll hear it. So
okay, so this episode is called Women in Power. 1, because we're celebrating International Women's Day this month, and then 2, because I truly feel like it's time for us to stop being so like meek and really step into our power, because in reality, like, we're all really powerful beings, because we're all individuals, right? So it's like we all have our own individual superpower, and like to really like dive into the confidence of living in that mindset of being your true authentic self, and like that's a superpower in itself. So do you think that people are intimidated by your power?
I think people are intimidated by me, period, which is something that I've heard like since I was in high school.
I've heard that too.
It's something that I've kind of just learned to not care about, and I could tell from meeting somebody immediately if they're intimidated by me. Yeah. And often it's like, oh, you're not smiling, like you have a bitch face, you're resting bitch face, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, child, like,
you don't know what's going on in my
you're
life.
Insecure.
Yeah, I'm tired. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're just insecure, and this is not how you interact with people by just. And another thing that I saw Brian say the other day, it's like, it's not, you cannot take on other people's insecurities either. It's not your job to make them feel comfortable. Yeah. And for a long time to this day, I feel like I've been dumbing myself down to make other people feel comfortable. Because I don't want them to be afraid of me, because I don't want them to feel intimidated, because when they're intimidated by me, now I'm feeling uncomfortable. But it's like, that's a terrible cycle too. You know,
because they're not being your authentic self.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's something too that I need to like still work to show my authentic self, because I've been doing that for so long. So I do think people are very intimidated by me, because I am a strong woman. Even though we hate to use that word now, strong.
But it's okay, because you are, and like you have to like, you know.
Yeah. It's not my fault that they can't handle that. I wish that for them.
Can we get a little clap for that? Like, I wish that for them. I do wish that for them. Like, I wish you could live in the confidence of your power. Yeah. Because then, us women, like, we would literally be unstoppable. Literally unstoppable.
You can't grow either not being your authentic self. Like, being somebody else or dumbing yourself down, like, the growth is going to get stunted too. So you do have to just live as your true self.
It's so true. And then I feel like you live happier, like, when you're just
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask you another question. Like, I was gonna like dive in, but okay, we're already short on time. Let's go. All right. So, as a woman who's worked really, really hard to get where you are today, like, how do you feel? Do you feel that you're respected in your craft by others in the industry? And then, if not, do you think it would be easier to gain that respect if you were a male?
I don't feel like I'm respected. Yes, I do think that it would be easier if I was a man. I always say that this industry is like full of a lot of romance too. So often it is just like the guys just dap each other up, and then it's like, that's business. Yeah, that's business. But they can't do that with me. They can't just dap me up and, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hire you next week. Okay, bro, I got you. Like, that's the relationship with guys. With me, it's more like, they're standoffish, they want to sleep with me, they want to, like, anything. So it's just so hard as a woman, I think, to navigate like that and demand respect. Yeah. Because even demanding respect, oh, she's a bitch, she's stuck up.
I hate that narrative.
So it's like, no, this is.
I just want to be treated like a regular person. Like,
this is my job. So, I think DJs too are the most disrespected out of the creatives. And I don't think people understand it until they become a DJ themselves. Like, I think that there's that unspoken understanding between DJs where it's just like, we're so frustrated all the time because of the lack of respect. Yeah. Because people think it's easy. People think that, you know, you're just playing. Yeah, exactly. It's a fun job. Oh my God. So that they don't take that serious. People come up to DJs all the time, the environments that we're working in, drunk people, drugs, egos. They come up to you, they disrespect you just because of a song, you know, like, because they're like, what, you don't know, oh, you're not gonna play this, oh, whatever it is.
Crazy.
They're so disrespectful. And it's not easy being a DJ. It's not only is it like tiring on that level, but it's a very expensive career to get into as well. It's tedious, it's time consuming. It's not just me at the club. I'm doing a lot of homework as well. The scenes. Yeah, just to like advance my skill or research music and stuff like that. And then people just like shit on you and then you're performing, and then I get performance anxiety and I have social anxiety.
They don't realize that DJing is performing. Yeah, they don't realize that.
I think it's just fun, and it is fun, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it.
You have a complete audience in front of you, and it's your job to make sure that they have fun. Exactly. Like, that in itself is, like, fucking stressful.
Yeah. So people take their fun serious.
Yeah, so they do. If I'm not having fun, it's your fault.
But that's the thing. The DJ is what makes the event a lot of the time. So it's like, you would think that they would respect you more because of that, but instead it's like judgment, disrespect. it's just crazy. I've had the wildest things. Like, people will tweet about me after, and they'll disrespect my craft, and that's one thing. I will get so heated when you disrespect my craft, because I know one thing is that I worked hard. Yeah. I really care about my craft, and I've invested back into myself. Mm-hmm. Like, every day I invest back into my craft. So I take that very personally.
Yeah. And then, like, one instance, I just saw this on Instagram, like, Mike Rock, he was DJing, and, like, I won't say what race, but some girl was, like, just starts touching the CDJs and, like, turning it around. I was like, oh!
Yeah.
Like,
you just fucked up my whole performance. Like, it's so disrespectful. I always say, if I was playing the piano, would you come and just start pressing keys on the piano? Like, this is my instrument. Mm-hmm. You're not doing this tonight. And people in the back of the room are not going to know that you did that. Yeah. They're going to think I fucked up. Mm-hmm. And I didn't. So, you know, it's usually men that do that to me. Mm-hmm. The first time it happened to me was, like, one of my first gigs ever. And a guy came over. He's like, oh, so cute. And he touched it. And
not like, so cute.
Yeah. I was like, grown man, too. I was like, oh, my God. But I've had other DJs come and touch my stuff too, which is like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And I think that's one of the biggest disrespects ever, is to come and touch somebody's set.
Everyone in society is wondering, is it disrespectful to request a song?
It's not disrespectful to request a song. Okay. But like I said, this is my performance right now. Yeah. So I did prep at home. I do have a certain sound that I'm trying to show you. Yeah. And I think that's the crazy thing in Toronto too. So people would follow DJs usually because they're like, I know I'm going to hear this by this DJ. But now people follow venues. They just go to the same venues all the time, and it's like, you don't know what's happening there that night. That's true. So sometimes I'll be spinning like an R&B party, and someone will be like, can you play this and this hip hop song? And I'm like, you didn't even know what you came to today. You know, like, it's an R&B party. And they're like, oh, man, I don't like R&B. It's like, well, you probably have done your research on which DJ. Like, maybe you should follow that DJ then, or come on another night. Like, tonight's not that night. So, it's not disrespectful to request a song, but it's how you go about it. And then the thing is, too, if I say, oh, I'll try to work it in, that's my go-to line. Because I'm like, sometimes before I used to be honest, and I'd be like, that doesn't go. Like, what are you talking about right now? People request the wildest things. So, and they'll be very disrespectful after, but I'll just say, oh, I'll work it in. I'll try to work it in. They're like, they're shocked at that response alone. And it's like, that's a maybe.
Yeah, you should even be happy you got that.
Yeah, so they'll be more upset than I am that they requested a song, that they might not hear that song. And I understand they're like, their thing is like, well, it's my friend's birthday. It's like, it's someone's birthday every day.
Well, you want to know what? If it's someone's birthday, someone should tip you. Because remember that one time? Money talks. Got a nice little tip.
I've said that to people before, too. I'm like, money talks. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, because they'll hound you. And it's like, listen, really and truly, I'm getting paid regardless tonight.
That's true.
So now you want to come in and pose on my job. I'm not coming to your job and doing that. Sometimes I want to find out where they work. Just pull up and
be like, let me make can you play this? Play this. Do this.
I'm not an iPod.
It's true.
I'm not on shuffle. There's a process to how the night goes, and trust me, I understand it more than you. Yeah. So it's just like, it's disrespectful when they get
crazy.
Yeah, when it's really not that big of a deal. You'll hear that. You go home and play the song.
Go in your car, put it on. That's what I feel.
You'll be alright.
You'll be alright. You won't die. All right, so we're gonna switch it up a little bit. My next question is, how do you feel about men and the dating scene in Toronto? Well, wait, before you answer this, I am gonna play a little clippy clip, and then we'll talk about this. Okay.
Round up all the baddies. I want to make sure that the baddies are tuned in because we got some good stuff to talk about today, and I need to make sure that the baddies are front and center for what I got to say. You see, a lot of black women are currently dealing with the baddie. I don't know why, but they are. I see it all the time. And I think that the whole notion of masculinity has become so warped, so much so that women are now confused as to what baddie DNA really looks like. Just because a man looks masculine on the outside does not mean that he is not a baddie. I'm going to say that again. Just because a man looks masculine on the outside does not mean that he is not a baddie. We gotta stop confusing nice bodies, tattoos, money, street cred, status, and woofing on the internet as equating to masculinity. These things do not equate to masculinity, and it is so bad out here in these streets that the baddies are now camouflaging in with the heterosexual masculine men that truly desire and love women, which is exactly why I say that women cannot be desperate when dating. You see, character in a man is what truly defines his masculinity. Character will always separate the baddies from the real men, the men that truly desire femininity, the men that recognize a woman's value, a woman's worth, and the men that are not asking women what do they bring to the table. You see, we are currently experiencing a baddie epidemic, a widespread infectious disease that is happening right within our communities, a disease of black men thinking that they're the prize, a disease of feminine black men, and a disease of black men who are now in competition with the women. And these diseases are not only giving men a false sense of confidence, but it has also undoubtedly poisoned the dating pool. Let's get into some more free game. Number 1, low testosterone. Yes, you heard me correct. Testosterone is the life of a man. And since the number one reason why we are on this earth is to reproduce, testosterone plays a huge role. It's the foundation of a man's reproduction source, and it fuels his sexual health and drive. It's his get up and go, his dopamine, his overall motivation to get out into the world and to produce, fueled by good looking women, of course. And many men today, young and old, are currently experiencing low testosterone levels due to the toxic world that we live in, caused by the high stress levels, the foods that we eat, our water sources, the plastics, the deodorants, you name it. They are all contributing. Low testosterone is a chemical imbalance which leads many men to become more reactive, more emotional, more violent, and more sensitive than your average man. Low testosterone is a silent blow to a man's ego. It is a hormonal imbalance which leads to their baddie behaviors. Number 2, absent fathers. Many baddies in the black community are often the result of absent fathers. You see, a father's role in a man's life is irreplaceable. Only a man, a black man, can truly relate to the growing pains and heartaches of another black man in this cruel world that we live in. This is one of the beauties of having an active father figure in a man's life. Fathers bring discipline, inflexibility, and the sternness that young men would not normally receive from their nurturing mothers. A father's presence, a father's role in growing a man is vital. It's a must. It's without a doubt one of the make or break situations that oftentimes will mold a man into a baddie. Many baddies grew up in households void of masculine energy and have never witnessed healthy examples of conflict resolution from men that look exactly like them. In return, these men have now become husbands and fathers of a new generation of black men without a true guidebook for their own lives and how to treat their wives, especially other women around them. Some of the hardest men known to the streets have misplaced emotions and do not properly know how to respond and to react to others around them due to their own battles with self-identity as a result of having no father in their life. You will often see that the misplaced anger of the baddie collective is often rooted in their pain due to not having a man to set a proper example for them.
We just played that clip, and the first things that stood out to me was number 1. Like, these men these days, maybe they're not taking their vitamins. They need to hit up Director Huss. We get some vitamins.
Oh, some of that honey.
Get some of that honey.
Get some Huss's honey.
But look, because it's the testosterone. Because the testosterone is low, and they don't have that hunger, like that mentality to like, I want to go after what I want. It's like, I want to be served. I want to sit down, and I want you to like bring
Bad bitch
me
behavior.
Baddie behavior. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
There are a lot of men that try to act like they're masculine and are really channeling their feminine energy.
Yep.
Right? So that's really what it is. And we spoke about how like us as women now by default, we've had to take on our more masculine side. Like I feel like I do come off more masculine.
Same.
Because I'm strong and I'm, assertive and whatever, aggressive, but it's
you
like
know
I've
what
had
you want.
to take that on because of the lack of testosterone maybe in men. But yeah, the dating scene in Toronto, that could be a whole episode on its own. It's been, I don't even date like that.
Me neither, but it's just so trash.
That's why we don't date, I think, because we're afraid. Like I say, I have date phobia. So it is hard. I haven't dated that much in the city, and the few dates that I've gone on have turned into like complete nightmares. Oh, no. And
please give one example, please.
Oh no.
What if they come after me? They won't.
Okay, well, whatever.
We're
gonna catch feelings, but I do feel like, okay, so I went on this one date. He took me to Niagara.
Ooh.
And
okay, but like that's still kind of cute.
It's a terrible restaurant.
Oh,
he brought me to a terrible restaurant. The food was bad. Then he tried to bring me to the Haunted Mansion. He did bring me to the Haunted Mansion, and he was trying to like hold on to me like he was scared.
But it was weird. Bad bitch behavior.
Yeah, it's just like he kind of wanted to, like, I guess, get close to me and stuff. But it's just like, I feel like men are also impatient too with women. And it's like, you're not going to just get things.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Let's work our way there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I think you should actually leave some of this stuff in. It's more personable.
True.
But, yeah, so then, okay, so I didn't like the date, but I didn't necessarily make a decision on whether I wanted to go on a second date or not. Saw him at a party, and he completely cussed me out. So I was at a party lit with my friends, and it's a party that I spin, too, sometimes. So, like, I knew people there, and I was kind of just doing my thing. And then he's like, oh, let's take a shot at the bar. We go to the bar, and he curses me out, talking about I didn't spend time with him at the party and stuff.
Sorry, did we come together?
I was afraid, Kish. I was standing at the bar like,
security.
Yeah, literally, I was just like, what do I do? And I'm lit too, so I'm just like, oh my god. And I was just like, okay. Like, I took the shot with him, and I'm just, I think I must have said, like, I'm gonna go back over by my friends, and I was just like, I went over there, guys. Like, you know, I got cussed out with this guy, I'm scared. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's
baddie behavior.
Yeah, if imagine I did that to him. Imagine if I said come to the bar and then I cussed him out and was like, you're not showing me enough attention. It would be, you would call me emotional, clingy,
and thirsty.
Clingy is like something they love to say too. But like a lot of these times, these men are talking to themselves in the DM. That's
okay. Can we talk about that? Because that is that's it. Niggas be talking to themselves in their DMs. Like what?
I don't think men understand how creepy they can come off, and women are often victims. Like we're like, if this is like the animal kingdom, right? Like we always are the ones getting attacked. Like we're usually in that situation. So when you move like that, like we've heard so many horror stories already as women, and you know, like what we talk about putting our keys between our fingers and stuff. It's like when you're showing me that this weird behavior and you're not even self-aware, that scares me.
Or we're not even together, or like, you know, like it just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know you, but you check on me every day. That's weird.
It's weird.
So those are the things that just deter me from dating at all. And imagine like your man was in another girl's DMs doing that. That's also embarrassing. I don't want to claim you when you're doing stuff like that.
I think the other thing too is like men need to have more awareness.
Self-awareness.
Not even self-awareness, but just awareness, period. Because if somebody is like, hey, if you're sending paragraphs, someone's like, yeah, okay. Like giving you small word answers.
Read the room. Like they're not interested. Like move on now. If you're like, if you have tried to set up like 5 dates and she's always like rescheduling. Yeah.
Read the room. She doesn't want to go on a date with you, because I guarantee you someone that she actually wants to go on a date with, they were like, hey, let's go out this weekend. She's gonna make it happen. But like, I don't know, I feel like men like almost like talk to themselves in their heads, and they're like, oh, she likes me. It's okay. She's just busy. She likes me. And I'm just like, bro, you're crazy. I haven't given you any indication that I like you.
No, I don't know what it is that there's a delusion there.
Ooh,
there's delusion there.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Delusion. Men can be delusional. Sorry to my baby daddy. I'm not sorry, but I call him delusional all the time because I'm like, nigga, are you crazy? Yeah. Like, this doesn't even add up. Like, did you think about this logically in your head? Because you sound delusional.
It is too? they more speak at us.
Ooh.
It's like I think if men understood that we were just regular human beings as well, and just spoke to us like the same way they would approach a man or a friend. Like, talk to me like you want to get to know me as a friend. That'll get you closer to me than if you're trying to just, I could see that you're just trying to fuck, or you're trying to just date me, or you just like how I look.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, you know, like, women, we get fetishized a lot, and that's a turn off when you fetishize us and you're honest like that. If you just spoke to me and you wanted to really genuinely get to know me, you might not even like me after.
That's the word.
Like, you know, you might not even like me.
It's true.
But you spend years talking to yourself and
it's like, get to know me. Because if you are taking the time to get to know me, that makes me feel like, okay, you're actually invested in this. Okay, maybe I'll give you more of my time.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what do you do? I remember this one guy literally said, like, what's the short
Good morning,
for?
beautiful? Oh.
No, like, where you at? Or W-Y?
Yeah, W-Y.
That. Or what are you doing? What's up? Like, I'm like, do you want to know what I'm doing every minute of the fucking day? Like, do you want to say
like that?
Or it's like, how are you? Hey, how are you?
It's
like,
good morning, beautiful.
Yeah. Good morning, beautiful. That's another one. It's just like, do you know how to start a conversation?
There's nothing after that either.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like, do you have substance there? Because what am I going to do sitting across from you at a date?
Okay.
We're not going to have nothing to talk about.
That's a good point, because if you are already not saying nothing,
I don't want to find anything else out.
Why would I go on a date with you?
Yeah. I'm
going to spend my time to, like we said, find a sitter, put my makeup on, do my hair, get transportation, go to this date for you to not say nothing.
Women too, though, because some women, again, don't do things for attention.
Say that.
Don't do things for attention. Some women will go just for the meal. Yeah. Some women will go just for attention because of whatever. And it's hard out here, you know, and people do get lonely. Thank God. Like, for me, I don't get lonely. I feel like maybe I'm too busy.
Yes.
Or something that I'm not even, like, dating's not a priority for me. Yeah. But you got, again, some women are fucking up the game for all of us. And that's really just it too. So women need to know their worth as well. We all do. Yes. But we can't be entertaining these losers, and they gotta fix that.
They do. Because point number 3 on Wild Heart Ways, we're just gonna listen to that quickly.
Number 3, the black man demand. There is no question that black men are currently in high demand. And since we live in an overtly sexual world, they are often fetishized for various reasons. Their melanin, their stature, their physical capabilities, especially in sports, their musical talents, and the very often rumored difference in penis size. And this hypersexualized era has made the black man become the token of all races. You see, one of the reasons why I feel like this new generation of black men hate black women is because black women do not jump through hoops for them as other races of women do, because we have no need to fetishize the very men that we come from. We are used to the divine purpose of melanin because we live it daily. We know that it can produce the greatest of the great. And since other races of women cannot relate, the melanin fetish is often misinterpreted for authenticity and interest, which feeds into a baddie's ego, making them quick to announce that black women are difficult and hard to deal with. You see, present day, black men are quite often deitized and placed on pedestals for frankly nothing. No true substance, no having no effort, no putting in real work, just fluff and looks, and they know this. And since these same black men are now the relationship experts without the expert, they have set the precedent that black women should accept their bare minimum offerings because they believe that black man demand means that they are the prize. And this is very weird to me, because I never thought we actually see the day where black men actually want us to be the prize, where the men want to be the huntees, where the men want to be the prey, to be chosen, conquered, and won. And if this ain't feminine energy, if this ain't big baddie energy, I don't know what is. It's truly a sad state of affairs out here in that we have normalized men wanting to be the women.
So men, particularly black men, they feel like, you know, they are the prize. Like, they want to be chased. Mm-hmm. I talked about this on my Instagram. They want to be chased. Like, but it's crazy that we've come to this point in society where men are wanting to be chased. Like, they're wanting to be the huntee. be. Like they want
hunters.
Yeah,
We're
like
hunters.
so females are the hunters now, and they want to be the huntee, and it's just like
because they have it so easy.
Yeah.
Like because women are just
throwing
giving
themselves
to them for the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
It's messed up, and we've all I've been so guilty of doing that too.
We all.
Yeah. So it's just about knowing your worth, and I think people just need to stop with the whole lonely thing too.
Yes.
Sometimes it's okay to be by yourself.
Get a
and
fucking
some people
hobby.
are afraid to be by themselves.
It's true. COVID showed me that.
But it shows that you need to probably love yourself more.
That's a
or
good...
become the person you want to be more.
Can we talk about that? Because that's a big thing, especially for us women. I feel like if we loved ourselves more, you wouldn't want to be with no whack ass nigga.
Yeah.
Like, if you loved yourself, it's not even about, because Samuel, he was talking about oh, you think you're so good, you think you're so high, you don't want to take what comes to you. No, I mean, yes, I don't want to take what comes to me. I want what I want. I know what I want. I spent time with myself to figure out what I want. I want a guy who's romantic. I want a guy who knows how to cook. I want a guy who knows how to do some housework. I want something that we can
they want us to do their laundry.
Exactly. Know how to do things for yourself. But then I want a guy who's outdoorsy, so we can go on hikes and walks and stuff like that, because I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's I know exactly what I want, so I will not just take what comes to me.
Yeah. It's important not to settle for anything in life. It's am I gonna go to a shitty restaurant? And I'm not gonna go to a shitty restaurant because I know the type of restaurant that I want to go and eat at. I know the kind of food that I'm willing to put into myself.
You know the caliber of food you like.
Yeah, and that too, it's ooh, I think I sent it to you too, talking about soul ties, right? Yeah. Often we're giving ourselves to people, and then we're creating those attachments with people that should not be attached to us, and they take from us, and then they're putting their energy. It's an energy exchange too.
Yep, it is. It is.
Every interaction is, but especially intimate. Yeah, and so when you're giving yourself to somebody, and then they're putting that negative energy into you, it kind of haunts you. I feel I have an ex that haunts me. And I have several. I don't speak to him at all anymore, but it's just he follows me around because I should have never invested in that person at all.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question. It definitely flows in. So it's we're talking about dating, we're talking about men. So, do you have any regrets in your dating life? And then if you do, what would be just one of them? I just want to share with our audience just one, just because, we're here to learn and grow. So just one of them.
I think just what I was saying, I feel I've invested into people or given myself to people that didn't deserve it. And then, just sticking around for too long, and they should have never experienced me, period. That's really just what it is. But then it's then you just think, okay, things they kind of become, they show you who they are, and then you just stick around because you're well, it wasn't like that before, or something, or I could change them, kind of thing. So I think for me, just it's more of I need to use my discernment. That's another word.
I love that word.
Yeah. That's been a thing coming up with me and a lot of people that I've been talking to as well. Discernment and just vetting the people that you let into your life. Yeah. Period. Friendships and intimate relationships.
It's true. A trial period.
Yeah.
So we talk to guys for 2-3 months just to see if they're the one. We should definitely do that with friends too.
Yeah. But even that 3 months, you're not gonna really know somebody in that time either. Especially with our schedule, we're not gonna see them every day or something. So I think it's just about me using my discernment to more, and knowing my worth, and knowing that my values and this person's values probably don't align. Yeah. Or making sure they align to move forward. Yeah. I love that. So one of my regrets, I would say, is that this is gonna sound so weird, but I was never liked in school. No guy liked me. It was never that. So when I became an adult, in my 20s, if a guy liked me, I was oh my gosh, he likes me. I've never experienced this. I wasn't the hot girl in high school. Definitely had my awkward, weird, ugly girl phase. Me too. I was a late bloomer. Same. So I definitely, guys that age too, all they care about is the assets.
Titties and ass. Yeah.
They're horny and they're, whatever. So I feel you on that.
Yeah.
But
So I was like never picked. So in my 20s, I was like, oh, if a guy likes me, like, yay, he likes me. Like, oh my gosh. And like, so I would go for the guys that liked me. Whereas like I wasn't, like what you said, picking the guys that like using my discernment. And
that's attention too. You craved that attention, or it was new to you.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was new and I liked it. I think that's the big thing because I never had experienced that before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, this is new and I like it. And then I get with the guy and I'm like, oh, I don't like you.
This ain't it.
This ain't it. This is not what I thought. Yeah. This is not what I wanted. Like, and then I guess like my other regret is just like once I realized it's not what I wanted, I didn't leave. I would still stay and I would be like, well, maybe I can make this what I wanted. Maybe I can make him into what I want. And like, maybe I can do all these things. And like, you know, like if you're with a drug addict, he's not, let me just say this. If you're with a drug addict, he's not going to change for you. He'll change for himself, maybe eventually, but he will not change for you. He won't change for his child.
Not only drug addicts, just people, period. They're not going to change for you, right?
True.
That's the thing. We often as women think that we could change the people back to like when they were chasing, it was all great.
It was all good.
Right? Honeymoon stage. And then they show you themselves. And this is why my manager always says, when people show you who they are, believe them.
That's a good
And we don't believe them. And then we stick around for too long because we feel like we've invested into them. We've spent so much, we've invested our time, our energy. They've been able to experience us in whatever kind of way. So it's just like, people need to cut those ties sooner. That's another thing that I feel like I should have done.
Same for me, because I was in a relationship that lasted 5 years, and after 2 years I knew it was done. Like 2 years I was like, hey, I know that this is not the guy for me. Not that there's anything wrong with him, please don't take offense. There was nothing wrong with him. It was just like wasn't the relationship that I wanted, and he wasn't the person that I needed.
Yes.
And I didn't take the time to figure out what kind of person I needed, but when I was in that relationship, all I did was like, this is not it. Like what you're saying, like this is not it. So instead of like leaving right away after 2 years, I was like, oh, maybe I can make it. And like that's the thing.
3 years
wasted,
right? Like, but it was a lesson for you too. Like it's all about like learning yourself. And I feel like we're on that journey. Still. It's a non-stop journey.
It is.
So,
but that's the thing I think people need to realize. This is like, it's always gonna be work. If you want to be your best self, it's always gonna be work. So it's just like you have to fall in love with the work in a way, and that's what I had to learn.
It's true.
Okay, so you don't know this, but before I met you, I was going through a really hard time. I broke up with my I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. I ended a friendship at the time too, and I was just like, and it was COVID, so it's not like I can go out and distract myself. I was just like completely alone. And I would literally write in my journal. My sister helped me a lot with like learning about journaling and manifestation. So like I would write in my journal and I wrote like exactly what I wanted out of a friend. I was like, I really want a friend who's female. I want a friend who like likes to have fun. I want a friend who likes to like better themselves. I want a friend who is smart but also funny. And like I literally had specific, and I'm mad at myself because I can't find the journal entry, but I had specific things of what I wanted out of a friend, and I would just like sit and just like manifest on those words. So I would like sit in front of a window with the sun shining in, and I would just like repeat what I wanted. And then one day you posted on Instagram and you were like, I wish I just had a friend that we could just do dumb shit with and have fun. And I replied to that. I was like, it's me. I don't think you remember. I was like, it's me. And then you're like, okay, girl, I have a party on Friday. Like, come out. And I was like, oh my God, really? But I don't even know her. I was like, I'm just going to go and like meet her. I'm like, okay, because she seems like a good time. So then I came, and that's when you were DJing at Apartment and Apartment 200. It was Halloween, and you were DJing, and I met you for the first time that night, and we hung out. We had like the best time. And
you were by yourself too.
I was by myself.
You're like, I'm by myself at the bar, and I'm like, why are you at the bar? Like, come over here.
Exactly, because like I didn't really have any friends at the time, so I came by myself, and I just like did this and I met you, and then like we just became friends, and it was almost like divine. And that's why I truly believe in manifestation, because it was like my life changed after meeting you, and it wasn't because no, but it's true, because it wasn't because I'm gonna cry. Okay, yeah, I'm not.
Don't. Take a sip. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to manifestation.
Cheers to manifestation. Woo. Whew. Okay, but I needed that. You know, I needed that distraction from my real life. I needed that friend who actually cared about me, and like I could talk to you about stuff, and like you could talk to me about stuff. And we're moms, and like we relate in so many ways, like fashion, makeup,
baby daddies,
creative baby daddies. Baby daddies, like we relate in so many ways, and like that's why I truly believe in journaling and manifestation, and I think that it's super 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 important. And I just want to get your thoughts, like what do you feel about journaling and manifestation?
Journaling is something that I used to do when I was younger. I was used to write in this diary. I don't know if everybody remembers those electronic diaries that would lock too.
I never had.
Oh my god, I have to find a picture of it. I'm gonna send it to you. But I used to write in diaries when I was younger, and I kind of I just completely fell off of it. And it's only until probably the last year I was like, let me write my thoughts out. Because there's so much going on, and
it helps you release.
Because it's up here all the time, and you don't really get to write it out and think it through and stuff. So I started doing that in the last year, not regularly, but when I feel like I need to do it. I probably should do it a little bit more and fit it into my schedule. But manifesting things too. I feel like like that side of wellness. Like I started doing sound baths and stuff like that over the last couple of years, and that helped me, I think, through COVID as well. And something that I'm trying to show my son and my niece too, like that it's an important tool, and it works. Like I'm always saying, speak things into existence. Like the power of the tongue is so strong. It is. The amount of times that we'll be like, yo, we knew this was gonna happen, we said this, or da-da-da. Like the power of the tongue is so strong, and it's important to speak positivity out there and to say what you want out of things. So I definitely do believe that it definitely works for sure. And it's crazy that you manifested me, friend.
I manifested you. Definitely.
I'm glad that you did. And I'm glad you came out, because people, that's the thing too, people are so afraid to like meet new people. And sometimes for me it's like there's pros and cons to it, because I am so accessible, just being out all the time, meeting people every night, meet so many people every night. So a lot of those people, and then you don't know sometimes in those environments who really does want the best for you. What their intentions are. It is. But I always I feel like I am always pretty welcoming, especially to females that do want to build or just like need somebody. You are. I wouldn't say pretty. You definitely are. And I also feel like that's like what you love doing. Like maybe like that's not what you should do all the time, but you love doing it. You love on people, and you show them your love, and you show them your love through like your time and effort of like feeding into them. I definitely I want to see just women just be great. Like I feel like that's just it. Like people, but especially women, especially single mothers period, I just want to see them be great. And I like to surround myself with that sisterhood too. Like it also feeds me having people like you around me, you know. So it's not just like giving in. Like you also add to my life, and I love that we could relate to each other. I love it. Okay, so last question. I know. Do you think, I know, because we're talking about like people having the confidence or like being afraid to come up by themselves, so it's just like, how do you feel about making friendships in adulthood? Because like that in itself is not easy. No, it's not easy. I think it is awkward for people. Like I think that's how you felt, like it was awkward to ask another adult like to be friends and like let's hang out. It's like friendship. A girl that I met in the past said it's like friendship dating, you know. And it is hard and it's weird, and you feel like super vulnerable admitting that. But because in school, right, like being stuck in a high school, elementary school, whatever, you see that those people every day, and those people are your friends, but those people necessarily don't relate to you all the time. And it's easier to meet people in those situations. Now it's like, maybe it's just gonna be people at work, like you know, you kind of have to be more active with it. Intentional. Yes, intentional. That is another word. So I do think it's more so, what were you saying, like, is it harder?
Yeah,
I think it is hard for other people. It's easy for me because like I said, I'm accessible to people, so people could just come up to me and meet me. But I think it's just more the insecurities of people looking vulnerable like that. And I think that it's important for us to just kind of shed that and just go to places. Like I was telling my friend the other day who just moved to a new city, Maggie, like she just moved to a new city. I'm like, go and do classes that like interest you, and those are ways to like find people that like more are alike
you.
Yeah, more like you. So
that's actually smart. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, just like putting yourself in those kind of environments. I should probably do it too.
Same.
I can't always just meet people in
at the club. Yeah,
that's what's so crazy too. I felt like it was actually easier for me in school to have that tribe of women that are genuine and supporting, because I guess before DJing, like people didn't really need to use me for anything or want things from me. Now it's kind of like the littlest thing someone will like use me for, and you know what I mean?
Yes, like manipulate the situation where it's like not beneficial.
That's what makes it hard for me, like just knowing if those people are genuine or if they just want to use me as a crutch. Because you could have came into my life and just used me as a crutch for your loneliness, but you feed back into it, like you fill my cup just as much as I fill yours. So it's, again, collaboration. It's like an exchange. Affair has to be mutually beneficial, and everybody goes through their stuff, but I think, that's just what it is. I find that a lot of people that find me are people that do want to use me for something, whether it's like they're lonely, they've lost a job, and they need me to put them onto something. So that's what makes it hard for me to find genuine friends.
Good friends, yeah. I feel that because when you were saying that, like, it's an exchange, I think people are thinking, like, oh, well, if you're my friend, like, it should just be a friendship. But it's just like, no. Come on, let's be real. In every single thing in life, it's an exchange. Like you were saying, the energy exchange. Even if it's as simple or as complex as an energy exchange, it's like there is that exchange. So when you're being a friend, you have to think about, how am I feeding into this person? Because they are feeding into me. I'm seeing like the benefit of this friendship, but how am I benefiting this friendship?
Right.
I think that mentality in friendships is like key to have, I think.
Yeah. And like I said, like, sometimes my cup will be empty and I can't fill your cup right now. Yeah. But communication
is key.
Yes. And so it just depends. There has to be an understanding, and I think that if it's genuine, you will understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for me, our friendship, personally, I think is genuine. I know how busy you are. So if I message you and you don't reply till the next day, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this bitch, she didn't reply. Like, I'm just like, whatever, she's busy. She's a mom. She is a DJ. Like, she's working. She probably has 17 million, like, emails to answer. Like, she'll get to me when she gets to me, which you always do. Yeah. But it's just like, some people have that thought pattern, like, oh my God, she's so she's dissing me. She can't reply. Or, why are you acting so light-skinned? You're not replying to my message.
I get that all the time. The light-skin thing, I get all the time. And I'm like,
I'm busy.
I just, like, and because, like, my schedule's so different, too, right? Like, people work Monday to Friday, most times, like, 9 to 5, and then it's, like, Monday when people start the week is when
you're resting.
That is my rest day. I'm not going to answer you on Monday. Chances are. So,
don't message her on Monday. Do not message her on Mondays.
And you know what? Don't even, like, people try to call me early on the weekends too, like early in the day, and like that's when I'm not waking up. I'm sleeping in because my son's not going to school. So there's so many. You just have to understand your friends, and I think understanding and communication is a little underrated in relationships nowadays, and that's the most important thing.
It is. That's so true. Because, like, let's say 5 p.m., people's work days are ending. 5 a.m., your work day is ending. Yeah. So it's like, people need to keep that in mind, too. So it's like, everyone has different lives, and it's like being understanding and communication, that will build a friendship. I think, like, when you said communication, I'm like, communication is key. Because I always go to people, I'm like, I tell them my honesty, and sometimes it's not good, but it's just like, I don't know how to be other than real. I say what's on my mind, and, like, I mean it in love. And I think my sister actually was talking to me about it, and she's like, yes, you mean it in love, but maybe some people might take it in a loving way.
I have to learn the same thing too.
Yeah.
I could be very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing, blunt, and people like to say that I'm aggressive, but I'm gonna just say what it is. And another one of our friends, Greer, she told me something that stuck with me too. It's like, a lot of people don't want to be seen. So it's like, when you call people out on certain things sometimes, and like, hey friend, like, you're not really doing this right now the way that I like, you know, or you're moving a certain way or whatever, people take it offensively immediately because they feel like they've been seen, kind of thing, and you've caught them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, which is true, it can be energies, but I think it's just about like intentions.
And then also, it's like being in a space where you can accept constructive criticism because you understand that you're not perfect. So we were in a situation where somebody called me out on some shit, and at first I was like, what? And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? They were right. I do need to start checking what I'm doing. I do need to start like making better decisions and like stuff like that. So like, sometimes people check you and you want to immediately feel defensive or offended, but it's just like, no, like, take it in. Yeah. Like, maybe this will help you learn and grow, which is what we're here to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had to, you know, take accountability of the way that maybe I communicated things too. So that's all it is. And it's like, if you could have that understanding and then just move on, I feel that's healthy. That's a healthy relationship.
It is, that's the thing. People need to be more understanding of healthy relationships. I love that. I think that's a good way to end. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kish's Couch. Cheers! Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Thank you for being an amazing guest. Thank you for being honest and authentic. And thank you for just like showing people who you are, and then they're able to learn and grow from
a little bit more about me. Yeah. I'm glad that I did this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers! You already know KillaxKels is amazing at what she does, so please check out all of her DJ and playlists. Where can they find you?
Everything is at KillaxKels. KillaxKels on all social media.
Okay, perfect. And you can find Kish's Couch on YouTube, and we'll be back every month with one episode with a perfect, amazing guest that will help you elevate yourself in life. Yay. Thank you for coming to Kish's Couch.
Yay.